So tell us, what does TipRanks do and how do you help everyday investors?
So we like to think of ourselves as a Bloomberg for the average Joe. And basically what we do is we collect a lot of data, alternative data, which I can soon explain a bit more, and we allow the average investor to make a data-driven investment decision. When we started the company 12 years ago, our main goal was to bring transparency by measuring the performance of anyone giving investment advice. So up until 12 years ago, you'd see all these analyst recommendations, finfluencers, all that, bloggers, recommending others what to buy or sell. We would collect that data and start measuring who knows what they're talking about and who doesn't. It is called a financial accountability engine, and that was extremely successful. And we leveraged that success to add more and more and more unique data sets, news, research, and tools for investors.
So tell me about this alternative data and how the data help investors make decisions.
Great. So what is alternative data? So let's start with what is not alternative data. Anything that a company discloses, their earnings, company announcements, all of that information, that is basically fundamental data that public companies provide. However, in the last 20 years, there has been a growing trend of alternative data. And so what is that? If you're an investor and let's say you're considering to invest in Netflix, one thing you can do is you can read the Netflix earning reports and say, okay, you know what? They just grew their subscriptions by 15%. This is a strong, conviction, and I'm going to buy the stock. But a smart investor or an institutional investor, they wouldn't necessarily wait for the investment reports. They would look for clues from the outside that will already tell them what Netflix report. Now, one example would be, for instance, to see how many visitors did Netflix.com receive in the last month. If you can track how many visitors came to Netflix or how many people installed their app, you can guess how many new subscribers have joined. And so there are a lot of different signals. It can be satellite images, it can be user trends, it can be geolocation tracking, it can be credit card processing. For instance, if you know how many people, if you buy data from, let's say, a credit card company of how many people have paid for Netflix, you can guesstimate what their earnings would look like. So there is a long list of alternative data that institutional investors are able to monetize very well, but that are not accessible to retail investors. We feel that our mission at TipRanks is to empower the retail investor to level the playing field, and so that's what we're doing. We're bringing all these unique data sets on top of the standard ones and making them available for free for the average Joe.